Jedi Fallen Order's Cal Kestis, I think, has something to hide. Something he may not even be aware of yet. So I've had this theory for a while that Cal Kestis is eventually going to turn to the dark side. And I know you're probably saying there's no way that can possibly happen, and Vader and Palpatine were the only two Sith Lords in the galaxy after Order 66. Remember, everything happening during Cal's journey in Jedi Fallen Order is happening just a few years after Anakin became Darth Vader. So where did this theory come from? Well, I want to take a closer look at Cal's lightsaber technique and fighting style. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Something I noticed the first time I ever saw gameplay footage of Cal in action is that his fighting technique is particularly brutal. I mean, just look at this. First off, the finishes. Cal bends Stormtroopers' bodies, slices. If dismemberment was a mechanic in Jedi Fallen Order, there'd be more than just limbs flying everywhere. They'd be in pieces. Compare this lightsaber style to, say, Obi-Wan's or Anakin's, it's got a ruggedness to it. Cal isn't the most graceful of duelists. He relies much more on larger swings and finishes than swift fencing-style swordsmanship. And yes, you could say Cal fights like this because the developers wanted to make combat more interesting, giving Cal some cool finishes and stuff like that, but that's not the approach I'm taking with this video. We're staying in-universe here, so stick with me. Okay, so his fighting style is a little rough around the edges. I mean, he didn't exactly complete his Jedi training before Order 66, and has had to rough it. He's all alone, he's had to learn all these things by himself. But then there's this move. Not only does Cal force pull a helpless stormtrooper towards him by the neck, but he slams his lightsaber through the defenseless stormtrooper's chest. This is more brutal than dismemberment, and highly unlikely they were teaching this kind of thing at the Jedi Temple. And I know these are dark times Cal is in. I know Cal is fighting for more than just his own life. He's fighting for whatever's left of the Jedi, but he's already disarmed the stormtrooper. He's already done the damage. I don't see how this can be justified as the Jedi way. Why not just knock him out? Does the stormtrooper staying alive pose a greater risk to Cal in that he may alert more stormtroopers of Cal's presence and then Cal would be rendered defenseless? Take this scene from Star Wars Rebels as an example. Ezra Bridger is forced to make a choice. Maul holds an inquisitor in his grasp and urges Ezra to strike the inquisitor down. Finish her! Ezra had also gotten a little closer to the dark side by helping Maul recover the Sith holocron just a few minutes earlier. But in this moment, Ezra hesitates because it's not the Jedi way. I can't! Ezra knows this, whereas Cal has lost sight of the light side of the Force. The lines are blurred for Cal. His master was killed while he was still a Padawan, and although Sierra may be mentoring him, she's not his master. Cal is making his own decisions. He's following his own Force journey and Force learning experience, and I think he's struggling to distinguish where the light and dark start and end. He's in the grey zone. But that's just the start of it. Cal's other trademark ability is the Force Freeze, or Force Slow. Cal freezes a laser blast, then pulls a helpless stormtrooper into it. Again, why not just freeze the blast, step out of the way, then knock the stormtrooper unconscious? The same can be said for the entire Force Slow ability. If Cal has the power to use this, how can he justify using it to go around and slice through helpless frozen stormtroopers? Why not just freeze them while he makes his escape, just like he did during Order 66? Why does he feel the need to freeze them and then absolutely destroy their lives? Well, next I think we need to take a closer look at stormtroopers, who they are, where they came from, and if they're actually conscious of their actions. I think this is going to give us a better read of why Cal is making the decision to end their lives. FN2187 realized that he and the First Order were doing the wrong thing and made a choice to escape the First Order and become Finn and join the Resistance. So do these stormtroopers have this choice? Do they have the consciousness to make this decision? Are they conscious of their actions? Well, unlike clones, Stormtroopers aren't bred into service. Almost anyone is capable of enlisting in the Stormtrooper Corps, undergoing Stormtrooper training, and pledging their allegiance to the Empire. Stormtrooper training can begin as young as the age of 13. Some Stormtroopers were born into Imperial families and enlisted when they came of age, but we need to remember Jedi Fallen Order and Cal's journey is taking place just after the Empire was formed, and the Stormtrooper Corps was still kind of a new thing. At this time, there were still some clone troopers in service, as their accelerated aging hadn't rendered them too old for service just yet. In addition to clones, many Imperial fanatics, volunteers, and conscripts had signed up to the Empire to become Stormtroopers. There was an appeal around the galaxy to become the next clone troopers, and many didn't want to go jobless after the fall of the Republic. So the Stormtrooper Corps grew and grew. So are the Stormtroopers Cal faces aware of their actions? Well, yes and no. The Empire was also responsible for a galaxy-wide brainwashing, convincing many systems that the Jedi were evil and manipulative. The Empire was promising peace, justice, and security to the new Empire. It was Palpatine himself that revealed his desire for peace in the galaxy.
And we shall have peace.
Sounds good to me, creepy old man. And in a way, the Empire was successful in spreading some of these ideas. They brought peace through fear, justice through oppression, security in numbers, and planet-wide occupation. It was a twisted truth, and these Stormtroopers Cal faces were a product of this truth. Some were possibly clones, incapable of bypassing their Order 66 chip and at the mercy of the Emperor, and others were new recruits who joined the Empire based on their own beliefs, even if they were brainwashed beliefs. So is Cal justified using brutal force to kill these Stormtroopers? Even though these are dark times, even though he's one of the only survivors, even though he's fighting to save the Jedi and all that's good in the galaxy, there still seems to be an element of fear and anger in his combat. There's nothing slow and painless about being force-pulled by the neck, having a lightsaber slammed through your chest, and then dying on the ground of a planet far from your home and family. This is brutal. This shows no mercy, no hesitation. These are Sith ideals. And no one in Star Wars dies straight away after being stabbed in the chest. Darth Maul stabs Qui-Gon with his lightsaber, and Qui-Gon is still alive even after Obi-Wan defeats Maul. So these Stormtroopers Cal has just stabbed are lying here in agonizing pain. So there's that. Also, have you guys noticed that Cal always wears a glove on his left hand? He never takes it off. So is this a robot cybernetic hand? I guess that would tie him to Luke and Vader, but I'm curious if this is just a subtle design choice the developers put in the game to liken Cal to Luke and Anakin, or if it has more of a functional purpose, like something to do with his fighting style, like some fencers only wear one glove, golf, also archery, those kinds of sports, or it could have something to do with his work in the Scrappers Guild, using his hand for rougher tasks and keeping the other one without a glove to maintain dexterity and feel. Just a thought, but you know, if they're going for an Anakin tie-in, becoming more machine than human, this could be the start of it. So which path will Cal take in the Jedi Fallen Order sequel? All jokes aside, it is hard to see him actually turning to the dark side. Even after his brief encounter with it, questioning his lack of action, seeing his master killed, and overcoming his sense of fear. But who knows, maybe the next game will be called Sith Risen Order. Also, I think there's at least a 66% chance it'll be revealed Cal becomes Snoke. Think about it, he's force sensitive, he's interacted with the dark side, he knows Darth Vader, and he's still alive after Order 66. The odds are as good as anyone else, really. And sure, Palpatine made Snoke out of Cal Kestis. And surely in one of the next Fallen Order games, the Emperor will make an appearance. And yes, like I said, Cal's fighting style would have heavily been influenced by the developers wanting to create a fun combat system with no human dismemberment. I'm assuming this was one of their design limitations when going in. They probably got told they can't do human dismemberment, so they would have wanted to find ways around it to give Cal some badass moves, which is probably why we got a few of these more brutal abilities. So, is Cal too violent to be a Jedi, and what do you think will happen to Cal in the next game? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, Palpatine has not yet appeared in Fallen Order, except for the Order 66 Easter egg.
Execute Order 66.
If you want to see more hidden details in the game like this, you should go watch this video here. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for more on Star Wars, gaming, me, and everything else. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.